All right, so package install day for the 2 dally hives we got here. So just a quick review of the setup. Got your inner feeder here that's going to hold a gallon of food that we brought to kickstart them. 1-to-1 syrup, which promotes brood creation, which is what you want at the beginning of a package. I got 3 blank frames here that we're going to probably put right in the middle when we dump that package in, and they'll build that comb out. What I'm doing different this year compared to previous years with mine and the other hives that we're kind of fostering, if you will, I've got a decent, significant amount of drawn comb. So some of this has some honey in it. You see this already has some honey in there, but it's got a lot of drawn comb. So every one of the hives that I'm doing this year, we're adding in this pre-drawn comb for them. It's going to save them a lot of energy and time focusing on that. And then you know, the queen, like, you know, frame like this that's full of already built out comb like this, the queen can just roll right in day one. They're mated, so she can roll right in and start laying right in these rather than waiting for the comb to get drawn and then laying. So it's certainly a leg up. I think it's a good advantage for these hives, and we'll see how it plays out once I come back and check on these things. So before I dump this package in, what I'm going to do, and I did this on the other hive, I'm going to go ahead and put the queen in ahead of the package. And now one of the good things about having drawn comb like this is I can basically throw this queen in there, press it in, and she'll stay in because the comb's already there, rather than me trying to like staple or tape the box off to the side and then come and check it later. She'll just slam right in there into the drawn out comb, and then they'll free her. So I won't be able to show you on camera necessarily, but I'm just going to keep her perfectly straight like that, and then I'll get you up a little bit close here. Hopefully you can see some of that. So there's candy there. We've taken the plug out from that side, and what will happen is she's right there. She's got that red dot on her, if you can see that. So the nurse bees that are with her, they'll help eat that candy, and then the bees from the package will definitely get in there, eat that candy, and then over a couple days, 2-3 days, they'll free her. I'll come up here in about 2-3 days and manually remove that candy if I need to. But that's the plan there. So she'll go in just basically like that, up into a frame, and they will eat that candy and free her over the next few days. So easy peasy. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw her in. I'm putting her in here so she's not in the sun. That's why you can't see it, sorry. There we go. All right, so she's in there. No need to do anything else. We'll dump the package, and then they'll free her over the next couple days. So I'm gonna go ahead and add. You can see some of these drawn out frames are just full of pollen and honey and all that good stuff. It's good. So you can go ahead and spray it. So we're gonna give them a really good soak down of sugar syrup, more 1-to-1. Just gonna give them stuff to kind of focus on so they eat, and they're not necessarily stinging us or getting super angry because they're full and they're feeling good. Smoker. So as per usual, we'll give them some smokes. That will drive them to eat more. And there is a tin of sugar syrup already in there. They usually come with 2-to-1 just for food, keep them alive. But we'll pull that thing out. So I'm gonna give them a good smoke here. Do that one more time before we drop them in. All right, this little piece of wood just kind of covers the little food tin, but it's important to keep that close, and I'll show you here in a second. So the food tin, usually a little bit of a chore to get this thing out. It's just about the exact same size of the cutout that these packages have. So you gotta finagle it a little bit. Ah! Need 3 hands here. Can you hold that? Okay, cool. All right, so the reason you don't want to get rid of this guy is when you pull this thing out, there's a giant hole with 10,000 bees in there. So what I'll do with this, you can see kind of on the bottom there, if you can tell, there's 2 just little holes. Very, very slow drip in the package, keeps them alive, gives them a place to eat. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this thing up, and this will be part of their kind of first feeding. Gonna go ahead and drop that into the feeder. And I'll go ahead and pop these things open, leave them in the middle of the apiary when I leave today, just to have the rest of the bees kind of come in there and finish them off. They'll enjoy that. But it served its purpose, so we can repurpose it into the hive now. One more little smoke. I want to get them out of the sun here. Smoke is about to explode. And we're ready to drop. So what that's going to look like, two things for me. I'm going to slam them down, get them all on the bottom, away from the exit hole, flop it over, and then just dump them in. And I'm going to get as many as I can out. The rest we'll throw right out front so they can walk in at their own leisure, and then we'll feed them and then close the hive back up. So if you're ready from your angle, yeah, burn through pretty quick. All right, so we'll do our slam first, make sure I don't smack any bees. There we go. And here it is. There we go. 10,000 bees going in. Give or take. Oh, dang it. Smacked my staple. Staples are doing more damage to me than the bees. All right, so yeah, there's plenty left in there. I will leave that towards the front though, and they will find their way. Yeah, nice. They'll find their way in. So as best I can, I'm going to go ahead and get these frames in. That queen's right there, so I want to make sure she's nice and closed in, not exposed. There's also a pile of bees, and we'll try to get a picture of that in one of the other hives. So I don't want to necessarily completely slam them in, but yeah. Some nice drawn out comb in the center there, so she'll be able to just roll right in and start laying. And there's only 8 frames in there now, just to give them extra space as they continue to grow out and build that comb. We'll add in more frames. Eventually I'll move the feeder out, put it up top when we add a super, or so on and so forth. Nope. Okay, last thing I'm going to do, hand you the smoker.
Yep.
Be careful, it's hot. Might be dead. I'm going to feed them. So we got a gallon of 1-to-1 sugar syrup, as I mentioned earlier. Top this feeder off, they get the full gallon. I'll check that thing when I come back in a few days just to see how fast they're eating. But between this and the drawn out comb, it won't be long before they'll be ready for a super on top, just for more room to lay and then start putting honey away. All right, that's topped off. And that's that. They're home. So I'm going to go ahead and close them in. Doing my best not to squish too many of these girls. Luckily, the queen is safe and sound. So if I smush a few workers, it's okay. I'm sure they don't think that, but... First hive is done. Dally hive number 1. Good to go. We'll just repeat the process for the next one. Easy peasy.